Good morning. This is Judy with Artistic Artifacts, and we are in Alexandria, Virginia, and welcome to you this morning. We have an event going on in the store. If you're close enough to come visit us, please do. We have 15% off in-store only. I'm sorry, we'll take care of you web guys later. And then we do have a market upstairs where many of our customers are artists and sell their work, so we wanted to support that and they have a handmade market that's upstairs. So we would love for you to visit us if you could in person. And thinking, I don't know, are there any other announcements? No, see, we're
Comments sold.
Comments sold. Yes, we are doing a comment sold sale. So comments sold is the app, Artistic Artifacts app, that you can download, and you will need that. That will be the only way to access this sale this time. We're going through, looking, cleaning up as the end of the year approaches, and our switch to a whole new website and point of sale is coming. Hopefully that will be by the end of October. So we are kind of prepping for inventory in January, so we're going to give a sale. We're marking stuff down, giving you a great opportunity. So comments sold will be the next one. It's next Thursday?
The 19th.
19th. Thank you. I'm glad somebody...
Through Sunday.
Through Sunday. So it'll be the weekend. But remember, if you really want it, buy it and pay for it right away, because somebody else might take it out of your cart. All right.
A couple other things.
Yep.
Today is BERNINA Super Saturday.
Oh, yes. Awesome. This is one time a year where BERNINA puts together a program for you to pay for your awesome machine over time, interest-free. So it's 72 months, and it is this time only. So please come today. If that's something that you're interested in, it allows you to get the right machine for you, even if it's a little bit more than what your budget can handle. We'll talk about a monthly payment and make it within your reach. And obviously, if you don't need the financing, please come today too. It's okay. We have plenty of machines here, so we're ready for you to take a new BERNINA home to sew.
We had one question is, what does point of sale mean?
Oh, okay. I won't give you what my head says point of sale is. So
It's the register.
So it's the register, point of sale. So it's when you're in the store and you have a register that takes your money and handles your transactions. So we are changing that. So I know a lot of you guys are used to having accounts with stores, and we have not been able to do that. This new system allows us to do that. You will have your own account. You'll have to tell the person at the register what your name is so she can pull you up. That way, when you say, I bought this fabric last week, but I can't remember what it is, we actually might be able to help you out with that one. Or, do I have this foot? Maybe I bought it 3 times, but let's not buy it a 4th time. So it'll really be a great help for you as customers shopping with us, and it will be the next step. So point of sale is within the store. We will also be changing who handles our website to Shopify. We've been in the midst of that for a while, and that will be a great, again, upgrade. We'll be able to better your shopping experience, and we're looking forward to that. So now these things will talk together, which for 15 years we've had this hand and this hand doing separate things. So that's a really good change too. So good question.
Okay.
All right. So we're here today with my long arm team, Carl and Barbara.
Good morning.
And the techs aren't here today, but they will be here Monday. So we made a big jump this year, and we added the long arm frames. But we have always sold the sit-down machines. So when you're working with a sit-down, it's more close to how you operate on a domestic machine, but it gives you a wider arm, it gives you a larger table. You don't have to fight it as much as what you do, for a long time. So that's really been a really great thing to have. Now, so we're going to then show you what we've jumped to, and that is frames. So Carl and Martha are Carl and Martha, that's Italy. Carl and Barbara are going to talk to you a little bit. So when we go to the sit down, you're moving your fabric. Now we have the next step where you can take a Q20 and put it on what's called a studio frame. Mm-hmm. There's a 5 and a 10 foot. Our recommendation is go for the 10. But there are people who do thread painting, artwork, things like that that are much smaller than that and want the ability to be able to free motion it. So Barbara, can you tell us a little bit about the setup on how the handles work? 'Cause there's no handles on anything.
Right. So you have 2 handlebars, and each handlebar has 2 controls. And on the bottom of your screen, you could set up these controls to whatever's convenient for you. So if you're right-handed or left-handed, you may want them on different sides. There's a number of different options of things to do. So you have all these different options to control the buttons with. Yeah, these 2 buttons. So this one here is your start and stop button, and we have it programmed to this. So when I press this, the machine is ready to sew, and when I press it, it stops. Very, very easy to work with your hands. And if you're a left-handed person, you might want your start and stop on the left-hand side on your down. So they could be moved around to however it's convenient for you. This is the exact same machine as a sit-down.
With your double BSR.
Yes. This has the 2 BSRs, just like the sit-down one, and you can see on the screen BSR 1, BSR 2, and BSR 3. So you have 3 different modes that those 2 BSRs work off of, which is really nice. You could set your stitches per inch. You could set your speed. Those things are really great for long arms.
Could you just explain the BSR and the different modes?
Okay. BSR is BERNINA's stitch regulator. So in BSR 1, for the long arm machines, the needle will still continue to go up and down when you have stopped moving the handles. And that's great for when you're doing maybe little spirals with a point at the end and you hesitate at the end. It gives you a nice crisp point there. Or if you're doing squares or something because you hesitate at each point just for a second, and it gives you a really crisp point. And you're also able to alter your speed. It comes preset at 250, but as you improve and get better, you're going to want to turn your speed up a little bit. On BSR 2, the needle stops when you stop moving the handles, and that's great for ruler work because if you've done ruler work, you do have to move the ruler quite often and adjust it. So you don't want to have to turn the machine on and off every time. So you stop moving the handles, the needle stops, and you can alter your ruler to whatever position you need to, and then just start moving the handles again and it'll start sewing. BSR 3 is a basting mode, and it has 3 different basting modes. You could do 1 stitch per inch, 2 stitches per inch, or 4 stitches per inch. So if you're looking to, in this case, baste the sides here, and baste at the top and the bottom, you do a basting stitch to keep the top secure and square on here. Maybe you want to use this to baste something that you're going to sew on you're going to do your walking foot, maybe on your domestic machine, but you could put it on here and do all the basting stitches instead of pin basting. So that's another option for those basting stitches. So that's what you can change the upper tension. You could change the presser foot goes up and down. You have a bobbin sensor here that lets you know when your bobbin's getting low. It's not quite the same as the bobbin sensor in our domestic machines, but it still tells you when you're getting low, which is nice because you know you could finish this little section before you have to change and not run out of bobbin thread in the middle. You can also set it on manual mode if you don't want to use any of the BSR modes, so you won't have that stitch regulator there, but maybe you're more confident in your sewing and you're fine with the manual mode. I find even though I am pretty confident in my stitches, I use the BSR mostly, but for the manual mode, if I'm doing little tiny stippling or little tiny pebbles, tiny things like that, the manual mode's a little more comfortable for me, and I think a lot of people find it that way. So it's a good idea to have that as an option too. So that you can find on all of the Q machines, the Q series machines. This one, we have the different take-up bars. We pin the back on first to this big take-up bar here, and then we pin it to the bottom take-up bar. So the back is all secure, and then we lay the batting on. We don't attach the batting to anything, and then we lay the top on, and we go ahead and base the top at the very beginning. So we really don't, and then we
Float.
I just have the top floated here. I find it easier to float my tops because then I can keep them more square. Some people like to put them on the bars, and that's fine too. You're going to find what works for you best because everybody has a different style of sewing. So there's no right and wrong. There's just different ways to achieve the same goal here.
So floating means that you haven't put it on, you haven't rolled it on.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Right.
Correct. It's not
Yeah.
rolled on anything.
Now this one, when you are working with the Bernina studio frame, especially at a 5 foot, we do not recommend putting the Q-matic on it. So let's go to what we recommend the Q-matic to be on. Carl, can you show us that?
Sure.
What is Q-matic?
So one of the things that Bernina did is when they realized that there was going to be sort of a middle between folks, those who sit down at a table like I have been doing, those who want to move to sort of the art quilt mode, and these are for the folks who want to do the larger quilts, but don't necessarily want to, but can do the free motion with the designs. So in essence, this is a CNC machine. What that means, it's a computer operated machine. There are belts underneath that move the x-axis and the y-axis, and then using in either designs you create in Stitch Art or designs that it comes with. I think it comes with like 50 or almost 100 different designs that you can use.
Yeah.
You can set up your quilt. The benefit here is that you're not laying this quilt on the floor, crawling around, spraying it, pinning it, etc. All you have to do is attach it to the top. As Barbara said earlier, we're laying it over, and then using the Q-matic software, and we'll show the interface here, you elect the design. Now in this case we're using a fairly tight design pattern, but the variability is phenomenal. You can do individual designs one after another. You can do what's called edge-to-edge quilting and then cut the edge off so it quilts just beyond. So you're binding, if you look right here, you'll see. Right here, you'll see that this is edge-to-edge quilting right here. It also allows you to combine different stitches into, you make your own patterns. So it's very powerful, I'm finding, and there's a bit of a learning curve at first, like anything.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take long. And then what
Practice.
Barbara and I have found is we have started to create our own processes for this, which is really fantastic because it gives you that flexibility. So what happens then is once you've established your pattern and you get your quilt set up the way you want it, you begin to stitch. So let's show you an example. This is one that's in process. You can see we've previously done a row of pattern here. We've done it all the way up the quilt, and we continue to move the quilt up, and we just repeat the pattern again and again. So in this case, this one's already started. We'll go ahead, Barbara. So what that's doing, the advantages are that you get a consistent result. And you don't necessarily have to be someone who does this for a living to appreciate that you want a consistent result. One thing that I really appreciate about this machine and the setup of Q-matic is that I can literally set it and walk away from it and come back and stitching over two rows. You can also set up row after row within the space of the machine from here to here. You can stitch. And you just move the quilt back up to an open space and you stitch again until the very end of the quilt.
Now you can actually set your spacing when you set up the program. You can set the spacing up
Yes.
like that and repeat. You could actually enlarge your pattern.
Yes.
That's what, yeah, you can.
Every design in the design library that this comes with, you can custom size. You can scale it up, scale it down, you could stretch it out, whatever. You could line them up with all different designs. Here we've lined the same design up in each row, but you can do multiple designs in each row.
And there's
So
nothing
it's very
different.
flexible.
I'm sorry, Barbara. There's nothing different on this machine than the one you just saw. This is the same Q24, Q20, Q16. Again, the 24 refers to the depth from the needle to the back of the machine, so it gives you more. This machine will handle the Q24. That's another benefit. The other frames are not built for the Q24. They don't have quite the depth.
You want to stop the machine because I can't hear you.
There we go.
Okay. So
Okay.
this machine has a larger throat space in the frame. It's a 24-inch throat space, but this distance here allows you more quilting time before you have to roll the quilt. The other frame has a shorter distance, so you're going to roll it a little bit more often. So that's also something to consider when you're trying to figure out which frame you might want to take home with you today.
That's true.
So
Now these, go ahead.
this machine you can do free motion with.
Yes.
You can.
It doesn't have to be using the Q-matic.
No,
Correct.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
So it would be just the same way using the buttons on the handles.
There are
Correct,
two
correct.
little levers you switch underneath that just disengage the clutch, so it's not using the drives, and then it's just like you would be doing on the machine we just showed you earlier.
We
So
have
you
one
can free
question.
motion.
Do we also sell the alignment bungee cords?
Here.
We have not gotten any in yet. We are just trying to decide. Judy and I were talking about that yesterday. If we need
Sounds
to
like the
sell them.
customers
So
recommend.
Seems like a good product to have.
yeah, it works real. It helps me keep my quilt straight. All these little markers are marked for each square. So each time I roll it, I try to line them all up again to try to keep the quilt top square as I can on the frame while I'm stitching. And they're very helpful.
And this is actually the shorter version of what's possible. This is a
Yes,
9 foot 9 foot frame, and we can extend. You can even add another section to it to make it. Was it 12? I think 12 foot. You can go up to 12 feet
and 13.
and 13.
Yeah.
So it would be an additional extension.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not that this one can expand.
Correct.
It's
It's-
an additional
Right.
Yeah,
extension.
Right.
because these bars on this frame are all solid. They don't slip into each other. They're not pieced. So every bar here, all these rails are solid rails, which make a really sturdy machine.
And the other accessories that come with it, you can do things like you can buy hydraulic legs to lower it and raise it for yourself.
You can buy pantograph.
There's pantograph, and what pantograph is essentially is you stand to the back of the machine with a handle on it, and you literally follow a design. It's free motion with a design. It's sort of a hybrid between what the Q-matic does and the other, and it does the stitching on this end of what
But
you're
driving
following.
for-
Yeah.
You're driving
So
from the other
there's
end.
a whole pantograph kit that you would buy if you want to do
Right.
that kind of sewing.
So Bernina's intent in doing this was to give you maximum flexibility, whether you're a hobbyist or someone who does this professionally. It stands up to either job, and we've had just a wonderful time doing this. We put it together ourselves, right? So we understand the devices, we understand the machines. We've had probably 100 hours on this machine,
Yep, yep.
and it didn't take us that long to learn the Q-matic software. And I cannot tell you how many helpful people there are in the Bernina community and on Facebook. Numerous videos if you get in trouble. And you've also got artistic artifacts to call if you have an issue.
So this is Super Saturday. So if somebody wanted to buy one today, taking advantage of Super Saturday, I know we just don't have these sitting in the
Right.
warehouse. What's the approximate time, and does it get delivered to their house versus here and whatever?
It does get delivered to your home. The approximate time right now, I believe, is 2 weeks for the whole setup. Carl comes to help set up, and either myself or Jenny, our Bernina tech, who is certified on these machines, will be there to help him. It is a two-person job, so one of us will be there to help Carl, and then I will be there to help you get started, giving you some tips, going through the mastery workbook so you know where everything is and how it's set up, and then
It's practice.
it's just practice after that.
It's essentially white glove service.
Yes.
Yes. So, and there are lots of bundles and specials that are occurring this year. This is the time to make the investment. If you've been thinking about it, we're going forward into the season where they put special bundles together and have special pricing for things. For those of you who live around the Washington metropolitan area, if you're going down to Houston, you can purchase at Houston and say, I want Artistic Artifacts to be my dealer, and then we will handle everything. So you can come to us, or if you're down at the show and you're visiting the Bernina Long Arm booth, which will be there, then please specify us. This is important for your follow-up, your warranty, your service, and our white glove service that we hand for you. And that's the case with long arms or domestics. So if you are within the Washington metropolitan area, please tell them if you decide to buy the machine in Houston, you can come to us with the information. We can take it from the sale purchase all the way through the delivery as well. So we will work with you on whatever Houston is offering, and we will hold true to that. So please remember, if you are going to any of these national shows where Bernina has a booth, we can help you with that too. So, but we'd love to have you come in and talk to Carl and Barbara today. And we are here and would love to show you our new equipment that makes the job so much easier and a better product. So we encourage you to look at that as an option. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you in the store or online, Facebook, Instagram, Creative Minds Facebook page. We appreciate that you're part of our community. Thank you.